Is that a ball of gas? Is that something more? We see strange things in the night. Tonight, we're going to talk about UFOs and beyond. Tonight, we're going to have our guest, Eric Bickernicks, on. And we're going to get weird, folks. Get ready for some high strangeness.
So I'm Dan.
And I'm Nick, folks.
We're old friends dissecting one topic at a time. People, technology, media, we've got it all covered.
Each discussion here is a deep dive into our unique perspective. With taboo, forbidden subjects, they're all on the chopping block, baby. We don't pander to popular opinion. We might even get a little bit dirty.
Warning, this podcast may contain mature language and sexual content, and is for infotainment purposes only.
So join us. Have a good time.
Open up your ear holes, because we're going to fondle your follicles. All right, so I'm Dan.
I'm Nick. And it looks like we have a third party here.
Yeah.
That's Eric. Introduce yourself, Eric.
All right. No, I thought it was appropriate. You started the show with a ball of gas. Yeah, I thought that was apropos that, yes, I'm the author of the book. Right.
That's awesome. So today we're going to talk about like mysteries, weird stuff, crazy, unexplained phenomenon, right? Mm-hmm. And we happen to have someone. Why not, right?
Why not? Yes.
That's a good expression. So your book, can you give us a quick synopsis? But don't spoil anything because we do want... You got a teaser. You want to leave it hanging. Hey.
We got a film script coming anyway at some point. But basically the book is called High Strangeness. And basically it's, imagine if a UFO kept coming back to a certain part of the country, Cape Cod. But then it kept coming back over and over again. Obviously it would attract a lot more people and a lot of, weird people and the strange types that would be associated with UFO sightings. And that's sort of the whole concept of the book. It's a satire of the conspiracies, the people who are part of the whole thing. It's a high strangeness refers to the people, not necessarily the strange sightings that, a lot of the sightings that I write about are based on real sightings. So I'm just sort of putting everything together.
So, all right. So what do you,
like real aliens? Do the aliens show up and like say hi to people, or is they just the people trying to flock towards this event and they don't really know what it is or actually see an alien?
Yeah, it's sort of like, well, it's kind of like imagine like the War of the Worlds broadcast by the H.G. Wells thing by what's his face? Fatso. No,
Tom Cruise.
No, Fatso. No.
The original Orson Welles. No,
Orson Welles. Thank you. Yes, Orson Welles. Yeah. Basically, the hysteria that happened on something like that. But yes, there is technically an alien in the book. If you read the book, the fourth chapter is basically an alien icon with binary text. Sort of represents sort of a the whole point is it's alien, so it's alien text. And if it's easy enough to easy enough to convert. There's 3 chapters, right? Basically, they represent kind of like the binary transmissions of the aliens back to their home planet, and then you can easily just convert it into text. It's not that hard. I was gonna, maybe encrypt it, but
an encrypted chapter.
Yeah. And the whole, and one of the things I was trying to think of, like something profound the alien would send back to their planet, and I went and said, I went in the opposite direction and just, you'll have to...
Anti-profound, but we won't spoil anything here. Okay.
So what was your inspiration for it?
Well, just the whole thing. Yeah, well, just basically, I wanted to say something about this whole conspiracy theories, about UFOs, how basically it's folklore. So instead of just doing an essay or a blog post, I said, all right, here, I shall write it out, in story form. And like I said, I've done this kind of thing before, so it's not like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I shot a movie, but no, I've never actually had any experiences. I take it from a skeptical viewpoint.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what are all these the things? Did you have to research actual sightings and all that from the Cape Cod area? Is that what it is?
Jesus Christ, I'm 57, so I've been following everything since day one, and I thought it was interesting how the folklore has changed since the 60s. When I was a little kid, there's only about 12 UFO books at the time. As an example, everybody had different aliens. It's always like, oh, what does your alien look like? Well, my alien looked like that. Yeah,
purple. Mine had squid arm.
It was an elephant-looking guy that came out and floated out. Now it's like, no. Now we know exactly what aliens look like. They're always, the same. The grays. This typical. I mean, it's literally the same thing. So it seems like it's just, it's now entered the folklore. Everybody knows what a leprechaun is supposed to look like, right? Okay, yep, that's just an alien looks like an alien. Okay, yeah, all right. So yes.
Are you saying aliens have jumped the shark in a way?
Yeah.
Like that's weird. Like now they're like, they're like a stereotype of a stereotype now.
Right.
So they're always, all the stories are the same because like it's like. It's like a Bigfoot story. You can't have Bigfoot and he's not hairy. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
I saw a creature in the woods and he was hairless. Ooh, buddy. You're talking about Bigfoot. He has hair. So it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy type thing?
Yeah, right. Now, again, the folklore is still a different thing than, there's the last count, I think Hubble said, those guys, the Hubble saw, 100 billion galaxies out there. So I'm not necessarily a skeptic. Oh, no, there's no aliens ever anywhere. It's like, well, come on. Obviously, with 100 billion galaxies out there, you would have to take it sort of to like a religious viewpoint to say we're the only ones.
Right.
Yeah, but the question is, did they actually make the trip? Did they actually have to make the trip? How close do they have to get? And did they actually go into someone's bedroom, abduct them, and shove something up their rectum?
Because that's their one goal in life.
Somewhere
I've always wanted somebody's rectum.
So the truth is in somewhere, So, yeah.
It's weird they picked people. Wouldn't it be even weirder if they were just abducting raccoons because they thought it was the primary leader of this planet? I mean, who knows? They picked humans. But
raccoons aren't going to talk about it.
Interesting. Well, all right. In my book, there's three main characters. A guy, skeptic, sort of like based on, more. A female reporter, and there's a golden retriever. He's actually a legitimate third character. So it's interesting that you brought that up. That yes, I have a.
Speaks in English?
Not just a talking dog. No, it's not a talking dog. It's just it's a thinking dog. Talking dog.
Okay. Those don't exist.
That's absurd in an alien.
Yeah.
Is the golden retriever based on anyone?
Well, no, I just thought it'd be funny to have.
I thought maybe you had a dog. I don't know.
No, I thought it'd be funny having a golden retriever have an existential crisis. So it's the happiest dog. So yeah, I took it to that point. But there is a legitimate reason to have this dog in the story.
Okay. Spoiler alert again. We won't say no. Okay. Keep it for them.
Yeah.
So you did going on these conversations, everything. I wasn't 100% sure if you believed or didn't believe, if you were trying to prove or disprove something. So when you're doing all this research, do some of these stories sound like bullshit right off the cuff? Like it's like, oh my God, this is so stupid. Like sometimes, and some of them are like, ooh, that's pretty cool, but I don't know, I'm not buying it. Like, is that how you approach these things?
Yeah, no, well, chapter one, my protagonist starts creating a fake crop circle. And that's literally chapter one, to show that, and he's, and he's a believer, like, well, no, hold on, there's real sightings, and then there's the bullshit sightings. So he wants to disprove the bullshit sightings by, exposing how easy it is to render something. You can be, now these days you can, and I've done it myself, with After Effects. Anyone can put, something in the sky and go, there you go. There's my proof. So that was kind of a, some of the aspect of it is just there's a line there where, you got to draw it somewhere.
A hilarious trait where a guy is a true believer and he's making a fake crop circle to show you that those are fake. These other things are real. Okay.
That's
pretty fun.
And then, ultimately, basically the hoaxer gets hoaxed. So that's sort of the overall story arc on that. Yeah.
I like it.
So I can't go into explicit details. Sorry.
Ruin the ending.
Right. But as an example, but also one of the things I bring up is like, all right, dumb aliens, right? Now,
dumb
We always
It's
assume there's
idiots.
No one,
That'd be
yeah.
stupid ones. Yeah.
Exactly, because why? Well, an example. Really, they managed to get from wherever the hell they were. Either another galaxy star. They had. And if you're traveling near the speed of light, if you hit a little tiny particle, you're toast, right? So they avoided every little particle from wherever
Sounds
it was
unlikely, yeah.
here, and then they hit Earth and crashed. So it's
that's
like
a pretty big spec.
Yeah, you gotta give the aliens some more credit here. Just for not hitting the planet, which would be sort of like the major design spec of any kind of vehicle. Whoops. Am I still?
You're good. You're good.
No, you're still good. You're good.
My monitor just flicked out. All right, sorry.
Oh, okay, no, you're good.
That's me.
They're listening in. That's all right.
Okay.
So what was your inspiration? Was just trying to get did you get into this like when you were younger? Like you're kind of figuring out.
Yeah, and I've been following it since ever since a kid. Close Encounters was the greatest thing. When it came out in the theater back
good.
77? Yeah, after Star Wars, right?
Twilight Zone, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. I mean, by the way, I snuck a tape recorder into Star Wars 1977. I think I was watching the movie for the 5th time, but I wanted to make sure I quoted Darth Vader correctly, so I needed to have a cassette.
Oh, good call.
It was long before videotape was.
You got a boom mic right in the middle of the theater.
Couldn't YouTube it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, it's just a little Radio Shack thing, but damn it, I gotta get it correct here. I've been following sci-fi forever, following all the Bigfoot reports, following all the all the UFO stuff. So just basically, here is my smelly opinion on all of it, done in a humorous form versus just a dry essay or or just, here's what I think. And
do you have
cares.
a favorite that you think is real or that you want to be real?
Ooh, a good story.
Well, then we would have to jump over to Bigfoot.
That's fine.
So, all right. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah. There's a couple of questions that, yes, it sounds, yes. Yeah, it's probably not true. Because if you just look at, if you total up like the biological aspects of it, really there's a giant, primate walking around, the northern woods. And people go, oh, it's a bear. Bears hibernate. So are you saying this primate hibernate? There's all these technical questions like, well, how much would a thing eat? It's like, that's a lot. It's a primate, not a vegetarian.
Right.
So there's a lot of that aspect of what's okay, but then there's a couple of other things. You guys seen the Roger Patterson footage? The standard Bigfoot.
Yeah, there's a town in Texas that.
The video.
My coworker went to. They have a Sasquatch convention, and she got to meet the little guy. She kept calling him the little guy because it's a little cowboy. He's like the last living survivor. I think he was the one who recorded it.
Okay, well, there's Roger Patterson, who's dead. His sidekick, he's his sidekick. I forgot his name. Bob Gimble, I think.
That sounds about right.
Interesting. He was the guy on the other horse, apparently, witnessing this thing. On that aspect is all right. Have you guys seen the footage? Because there's lots of
the classic. Everyone's seen it.
There's a lot of YouTube footage where they zoom in and look at the musculature, and it's like, okay. If it's a guy in a suit, that's pretty good there. I mean, you can see them, So on that aspect, it's like, well, okay, you could be a guy in a suit, but it looks good. What's kind of interesting is I saw back with back around 74, they had a documentary that went around the country with basically it was a Bigfoot documentary, and that was the highlight showing the footage there. That was as a kid like, wow, that's definitely something's there. Now as an old fart here, I'm like, well, yeah. Now that now that I know how much the world can be full of shit, it's like, well, okay. But on a couple of things on that. Okay, so let's assume let's assume Roger Patterson faked it. Right? That is proof. The footage is proof. You can fake a cowboy, can fake a Bigfoot suit in 1967 and do it. Right? Let's just say that. Right? That it's fake, and okay.
Why don't we see it now?
Correct. Every single person just about on this planet has a camera in their pocket.
Yes. Oh, that's why.
They should be having way more footage. Yep, there's another guy in a suit. Yep, it looks great. Yep, okay, another one. Yep, another one. Where's all the footage? I mean, there should be a lot more. That goes for Loch Ness monsters. That goes for
UFOs.
another
UFOs. All of them.
You know,
I mean, who doesn't have their camera out? You know.
Right, because you could argue like, well, what's the possibility of having a guy with a camera in the woods? Yes, Roger Patterson was looking for a Bigfoot. He had a film camera loaded. I mean, I've shot film. It's a pain in the ass to load.
Yeah.
But
how long would it take him to set that up back then? I mean,
yeah, it does. It takes a while to load film. You need a little dark bag if you're going to do it. Fine, but he knew that. Let's just give him the benefit of the doubt.
Let's assume he knew.
He knew. Apparently, there were Bigfoot tracks at some construction site nearby, so he knew he was in the area. Even though he was making a documentary, he knew how much footage would bring him, would cost, right?
Yeah.
So, point is, why aren't people doing it now? And certainly with the YouTube, I mean, what is the going rate now for 1 million views? If you shot a decent Bigfoot. Just like the Patterson footage, that's easy work.
That's a million. That's a billion.
Well, no, I think it's about $8,000 from what I've seen.
For a mil?
If you get it for 1 million views, is $8,000. Yeah, low side.
Yeah, it's around there. Yeah,
a month.
Yeah,
2,000 for every million views. It says. Yeah.
So okay, so come on, people. If it's so simple.
The other thing is, there's not just money in it, technology, heat sensors, stuff that would look through the woods without even you having
capturing
to look as
it.
much as you would.
Right.
Bring it in, live show.
Jeez.
Carnival.
So basically that would put it towards like, okay, well then he probably doesn't exist, because if there's that, if it's that easy to fake, there should be a lot more. So we're getting, proportionally we're getting less. But on his deathbed, if Roger Patterson faked it and said, I've done it, why didn't he say, everyone, guess what? I faked it. There's a movie deal, there's a book deal waiting. He could have, shown the world, if he was in it for the money, there was more money to be made saying, I faked it. This is how I did it. And certainly there's money to be made for his buddy Gimbal, the other guy on the horse. If he would just admit, okay, look, we faked it. Here it is. Book deal. There's, money.
Right. You're right.
Just take the money. Come on, take the, so why is, if he faked it, why isn't he taking the money?
His legacy. if you didn't do anything that special in your life and that's your claim to fame, you're going to keep your claim to fame.
That's true.
But I mean, being the world's greatest hoaxer, that puts you,
That's true.
But it continues on. Makes him even better.
Right. Well, I guess, yeah, if you're just, if you, I don't know.
If you die, I don't know, man.
Or do some of these guys actually believe the Bigfoot, Bigfoot's are real, thus hoax the footage to keep the thing rolling in their mind, which is what I'm sort of stealing with on my book.
Right, with your book. I understand.
Yeah.
So here,
trying to find Gimlin. It was Gimlin's first name.
Right.
Here's something crazy. We're pointing at it. We just mentioned it a little bit. Smartphones, cameras in our pockets, recording devices at the ready. Google being able to fact check just about anything, figuring out, what's real and what's fake, and a lot of these conspiracies and stuff. On one hand, I feel like they're disappearing, like they're becoming more rare. Like you mentioned, they're becoming stereotypes.
Yeah. Are you saying conspiracies or Bigfoot's big? Or you want
the Bigfoot?
Two different things.
That's right. Well, that's what I was going to say. And interestingly enough, conspiracies keep popping up like crazy. They're on fire right now. Whereas the old folklore is kind of, you don't even hear stories about it as much. Oh, you still hear about it, but it's not as what it was. I think conspiracy is the new Loch Ness monster. Is that a thing? I mean,
well, in fact, chapter 3 of my book. This is based on a real true event. Back in the day, before the internet, before everything,
second shooter.
Back in the early 80s, if you were a wingnut and you had your conspiracy theory, or if you're into UFOs, if you're going to promote Bigfoot, there wasn't a lot of options to actually get your message out there, right? I mean, you actually literally had to mail something.
Wow, yeah.
Before even you had, believe me, I had a dial-up modem. I had the, but even before that, you literally had to send mail out. And in around 85, I had a buddy. I was the skeptic. I have a buddy who was totally into the UFOs and the extraterrestrials. he had a friend who had a small, like 100-watt radio station that was just, I don't know, went out 10 miles. But it's like, come on down and let's talk about it. And you can be the skeptic guy on my radio show. I'm like, all right, fine. So I went down there. And this is literally in the book. I just took reality and just dropped it in. And these guys are all talking about, their conspiracy theories and extraterrestrials, and I'm like, wait. So I'm listening to these guys go for about an hour, right? And there's no phone calls, I suspected this. So I had brought an envelope, a stamp, and I had $20 with me. I said, listen, okay, anyone listening to my voice here, right? I said, here's $20, right? And I was scraped it against the microphone. I said, listen, I will send anyone listening to my voice $20. I have an envelope. Here's a stamp. Just call in. I'll send $20, right? Silence, right? And the guy who was getting pissed, he's just like, goddamn Bigfoot is going. I'm like, all right. Another 10 minutes later, everyone else in the room was like, "Oh, I'll put in $10." Okay, so we ended up like $40. Like, okay, $40. Yeah. Just call in. So the point is, no one was listening. No one, and that was the deal. And there's certainly a lot of podcasts out there. So yes, you guys get the irony here. There's weird talking.
Yeah. Right? No one's going to listen to this.
Well, I see you guys have some good numbers. But certainly it's easier to get your own group of people together, like-minded people. And again, if whatever the hell you believe, you're gonna find it's easier to find like-minded people.
Mm-hmm. You can find your own echo chamber.
Yeah, you can just
echo chamber. Right. Echo chamber. Hell yeah.
And these little bubbles can actually connect with each other, and now you've got a big bubble now of wing nuts of whatever they're.
Well, and look at the news. I mean, you only follow the news that you want to hear. Like you don't listen to the news that tells it the other spin. You're like, oh, I don't listen to them. I listen to the one I like. And then that happens in all your things. Your sports spin, your news spin, your conspiracy theories, your non-conspiracy theories. So you end up just kind of in a bubble of what you want to hear because you can find those people.
Yeah.
It's easier to find them now.
I'll turn into the ranting old guy. How about that? And it's like, back in the day, we had radio. We had good music came on the radio, and we could find it easy enough. Yeah, it's
not all controlled by the same iron fist.
Well, yeah, it's just
It was like
it's all separate. The other question is, so what is the future? What 100 years from now, or whatever? Then what? Are we just going to have our own little bucket over our head, and we're only connected to
ourselves?
I wouldn't be surprised if people form countries that have all the same rules that countries do, but they're no longer physical borders.
Right.
It's like an internet border. Oh no,
I'm
Czechoslovakian or whatever, and then like it's all the people that subscribe to a certain sports following, a religion following, a subreddit, and they're all part of a collective, and they have their own laws, like their own rules and everything.
I wish like a drugstore would say, okay, listen, before we give you these drugs that will cure a bacterial infection.
Okay.
Say, listen, you have to sign. Do you believe in science? Do you actually believe in the scientific method? Because this packet of pills came from that. So you have, before we give it to you, you can certainly pray all you want, but these pills represent an effort. So do you believe in the method here? And then we will give you the pills. If not, yes, you can go back to,
For the record, my family, we don't do vaccines.
Okay.
No, we do. I just wanted to see what you would say.
You're cured. You're cured.
No, I do.
Well,
I wave my hand in the sky. You're saved.
Because there was an article out. Some kid basically said that
or something.
No, some kid the guy turned 18 and said, I finally got my shots. And apparently everyone's jumping on it. Like, kid who wasn't vaccinated by his parents made it a point on his 18th birthday to get vaccinated.
Do it himself because he believes in it. That's cool.
Yeah. Yay.
I actually heard something today that made me think, and it's totally offshoot, totally unrelated. But there was a guy, he wrote, excuse my language, his waitress was gay or something, and he wrote, I don't tip bags.
I saw that one. And
I was like, whoa, like there was no need to do that. And she went off on a rant, and rightfully so. Like that guy's a jerk. Like there's no need to do that.
What kind of quality waitressing did she do? Probably she was pretty great.
She was probably fine.
Average is what? 15%, 10% now. What do you tip?
Not I'm a 20 plus. Once you've been a server, you're always 20 plus. Yeah. Sometimes 25, sometimes 20. But once I don't know. Anyway, she said something. The only thing she said that was weird was she's like, I hope he doesn't have kids and raise them because they're going to teach him the wrong way. And I was like, that's messed up because like what you just said, anti-vaxxers have kids and that kid turned 18. He wanted to get his vaccines right away. Like you can't determine that a kid's going to be like their parents. I mean, each person has their own identity, their own agency. Like, you know what I mean?
As long as they live that long.
Yeah. If they make it to 18. Right.
Yeah. How about this? So if genetic manipulation is continuing, right? I mean, at some point we should be able to knock out any genetic defect, right? That a baby will have.
Get it before it's born,
right? But let's say your parents now are highly religious or something and say, no, I want God to make my baby. Like, okay. So the kid now grows up with spina bifida or something here, which clearly was later in the future, clearly would be fixed.
Could have been.
Will this kid be able to sue his parents saying, you could have fixed my problem here. You refused to do that, to do that.
It's a good question.
I think I would.
I think will be able to. I know you would. Damn would.
Right. Because there's no reason to have a kid with in the future, if this all pans out, to have a kid, any sort of defect. So you can blame the parents for being literally like that.
There's uniformity there that happens.
Kid with brown eyes. Ugh. Good damn it. I always stare into the brown eyes.
Right. But like on the subject of genetic manipulation, now obviously, and they've done movies about this. What the hell is it called? Where basically you can make design. Could have been. You can make designer babies, right? Because obviously, if you're gonna filter out all the major genetic stuff, right?
You're going to also put in the prettier traits, right?
Right. And if everyone else does it, and then it's like, then the kid will have to answer to you, like, why am I 5'2"? Everyone is 6'2" here. Why did you make me? What you make me? To his parents. Why am I only 5'2"?
Right.
Well, you think it's like that's going to continue on there. And on another little interesting, I brought this up, that same question to a black guy. And I said, so if you had a choice, and I was being very careful how I phrased it. I said, if we get to a point in the future where you can adjust the skin tone of your kid.
That's an interesting point. What would you do with your kid?
I said, he basically said, I would turn him down. I'll make him a little lighter, a little click. And I said, it's interesting because most white people would want to go a little darker, click. So I think Hawaiians are right on the money. I think,
Hawaiians got it figured out.
So that's the averaging of the color of the entire world.
Yeah. That's,
they got a nice island, by the way.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Relax.
I'm determined to buy a coffee farm. Seriously, if this book fails, everything fails. You can buy cheap coffee farms in Kona.
Really?
I'm at the age now where it's like, yes, I understand what my grandfather was all about here, where it's like, well, why does he wear funny pants? Why does he not care about his friends? Why? I totally understand now. Yeah, he was just pulling weeds. He's just outside. What's wrong with the guy? Totally understand my grandfather now. He's long dead, but a nice place to pull some weeds. That's And the world can then just,
It's weird. It's what my parents have been doing for the past couple of years.
Pulling
a lot of weeds out of their house. And complaining about it and asking me to help. But I haven't been able to help that. I'm working, but it's like funny. I'm like, man, they're really into pulling these weeds. So they're getting there, I guess. I don't know.
I refuse to do square bushes. I have a lawn, but I refuse to do square bushes. I'm not doing square.
Hold on. Another aside. Right. My landlord, who does not pay me to do snow removal or lawn care, I rent, I have a whole acre to do. God bless. She came over the other day, and I never deal with her because I don't know. I don't deal with her. It's my other two housemates. They deal with her. She comes in. She goes, "Oh, look at this. The shrubs are getting really out of hand right now." And I said, "Yeah, they are." And she says, "If only we could cut them somehow." And I said, "If only we could." And we both looked at the bush. And she said, Maybe I'll get my guy to come over here and cut them. And I said, that'd be great. But I could tell she was like just hinting it. Couldn't you just...
Oh, if only.
The most dangerous word in the English language is just. Couldn't you just do that? Couldn't you just call the IRS for me? Couldn't you just write a book? You're like, right?
Just make more money. It's so easy.
Yeah, just make more.
Retire already.
I totally, home ownership. Because you get to deal with anyone else's bullshit. And fine, it's your poop, your mess. Fine, you get to live there.
You poop with the lawn, like the dog.
I just that was good. The toilet, yes. Oh my God! Now we've descended to toilet. Okay, right.
Back
to you.
Ascended. I think
every episode.
We'll always end up there. End of the night.
So, my man Eric here, you're adeadguy.com.
Yes. Oh boy, here we go. Yeah.
I found that interesting because that's A, cool website. B, it's got all your stuff on it. I'm sure it's super organized and super calm and cool and collected like yourself.
A bit of sarcasm. And he used sarcasm. Yes.
Sarcasm.
I hope real quickly, but you look at the 57-year-old version. You should have seen me when I was your age, 18. Yeah. So
is there a likeness? I'm scared.
No, I'm saying, yeah. This is the old aged version of myself here you're watching. So
this is the mellow version?
Yeah.
This is the mellower version.
Awesome 30 years.
Yeah, right.
Have you ever dabbled in any kind of drugs?
Back in
the day. Anyway, we won't go there.
Depends what state he's in.
Right?
Yeah, he could be in an illegal state.
But adeadguy.com sounds cool because your idea was that people will be reading it for years to come when you're...
The delusion, yes. Hope. We hope that I can write something, I can come up with something that is worth remembering.
And then it'll be in your website, adeadguy.com, because by then you will be dead.
That's the delusion. I will be known as the dead guy for much longer than I was as an alive guy here. A delusion here. Right.
Aliveguy.com.
I run into that conversation with my very friend Dan here all the time.
Right.
Whether your value is in living or dead, or what you get from being alive, or what you get from being dead. You wouldn't get anything from it. You don't get no residuals, but I guess someone related to you might, or something, or I don't know. So it's not a money thing. So it's more of a intellectual thing.
Legacy? Will this podcast even live on?
Yeah. Well, it's just from the last moment, you're just like, a few more beeps happening on the heart monitor. And you're like, at least I got it out there, and then out. But the thing is, when you boil, literally everything that I will create will be boiled down to, on the website, movies, there's movies on there, some music, but it's literally just a string of O's and ones. Everything is just, literally everything, what I've said will just be an O1, just a series of just letters and numbers. Why would, and then certainly there's all these other people who did O's and ones. And true. I don't know, are there extraterrestrials that all have their O's and ones being recorded someplace? And so what makes me think that my O's and ones have any more significance than anyone else's O's and ones? So,
it's a good question. And it's a good point. I mean, some people's O's and ones are important. I mean, we go back and they've re-released every Beatles song how many times? And then there's a unremastered version, and there's a bare version that was unmixed, and then there was a version that someone recorded at X Studio in 1976, 2 years before they re-recorded it again. And it's funny. I had this conversation with someone at work the other day. If you became so famous, you became the number one person. Let's say you really found an alien or something like that.
Yeah.
And you became the most famous person on earth ever. Everyone knew your name. Everyone knew kind of your story. And then you had a following. People who were like, hey, let's see what he did all the time. They celebrated your birthday. They started celebrating the day you discovered your alien. They started just talking about your book. Then they started talking about your private life. And they were like, oh, this is the day you got married. This is the day you did this. And then they started talking about like, whoa, we have records from AT&T. This is the day he Googled this. And you're like, okay, well, I'm dead. I can't do anything about this. This is a little weird. And people started going into a movie theater, and they would all watch you and the things you looked on your phone that day. Oh, how creepy would that be? And they'd be like, "This is what he jerked off to," and then they'd watch it with you. And
Somebody
then
walks
you'd
in
be
with a
like,
bag of
"Oh,
trash,
boy."
and they're like, "We've got the napkin."
Oh, we've got the napkin he used. They're like, "He threw away a rib. Here's the rib, folks." Like, it would get creepy to get that famous. Like, there's a point where you want peace. You don't want your legacy to carry on that much. You know what I mean? Like, there is a point.
Right, but you'd be dead, so you don't have to worry about it. I worry that that time travel is possible, but you can't really interact with the past. You can just watch. So they come into your bedroom and watch you jerk off. It's like, oh my god, the whole world play back this loop.
You go back to the first time and you just cry. It's so bad.
Right. Yeah, so
funny
that's what I worry about. So okay.
I read a really funny thing about time travel in that they made a time travel prison. So anyone traveling between dimensions would get caught, and it hasn't been invented yet. It's in 10 years or something like that. So that all these time travels appear in like 2029, and they're like, I'm going back to 1740. I'm going back to 13000, and I'm going back to Jesus' time. I'm going back to this. But they're all caught here, and they're in a prison. And I don't know. I thought that was very
Andy
funny.
Duchesne, just like slapping the nightstick. Ding, ding, ding.
No.
I think the prison filled up all of a sudden, and they started exploding their bodies in the joke or whatever.
Personally, I don't think the people in the future want us showing up. Can you imagine if like someone's with like some horrible like the plague just showed up from the 1700s? Like, yay, I'm here in 2019. Like, you got the plague. Get him. So yeah, I think they would just not want us. Yeah, the smelly, horrible people from the past.
Everyone's in this week. Can you just show up another week? I mean, we're really busy.
Right. You got all the horrible bacteria and viruses that we've got rid of a long time ago, and
forgot your passport. They're gonna arrest you on site.
I don't know what reminded me of this. You know what they stopped doing? At your job, when you go to work and the boss is really impressed, and he says, me and the wife are coming over for dinner. And he comes over for dinner right when something crazy's happening at your house. And like the dog swallows the ring and all that. But no bosses come over your house for dinner anymore with their wife. Isn't that weird?
Was that ever a thing?
I'm self-employed, so yeah, so I can't relate.
But they don't do it anymore. Like, it's in all the movies from the 90s. That must have been a thing. 80s, 70s, even the 70s, even the 60s. I think in Bewitched and all that. What's his name would always coming over, right?
Aaron Stevens. The next door neighbor.
No, not Gladys. Gladys! What was her husband's name? She was always yelling it.
Abner. Yeah.
What are you looking at, Gladys? Yeah, anyway, we divulged. We went back there. Sorry, guys. That was an aside.
You're having a moment.
I apologize. An old person moment. I'm getting older.
Come on. It's all right.
I am
older.
We're
talking the 60s. What shows were you watching? I was there when Bewitched was on, so come on. I was feeling my yeah.
I did watch Nick at Night every night. So Bewitched. And I Dream of Jeannie, and I forget the other one. There's a
Dick Van Dyke.
One. No, I didn't see Dick Van Dyke a lot.
Hogan. Well, there's Hogan's Heroes. I mean, come on. There's all these
it's Hogan's
shows.
Heroes. I'm trying to think.
Yeah. The problem, see, people who were in the 50s there was nothing else to watch. There was Hogan's Heroes, Three Stooges, Bing, Bing, Well,
and couldn't YouTube it either or anything. You had to watch it when it was on TV. That's what I'm trying to explain to my kid. My kid just thinks TV is whatever he wants to watch whenever he wants to watch it. He's like, I want a new episode of PJ Masks. I'm like, it doesn't work like that. You can't just demand it. I used to have to wait till Saturday, hope it was a new episode, and then catch it at the right time. Kids.
I find it interesting that as you mentioned the Beatles, right? So you're very familiar with the Beatles.
Mm-hmm. Heard of them.
Yeah. So I don't know. Are you familiar? You're familiar, right?
Yeah.
The Beatles,
vaguely. They're not good.
Point is, the Beatles were just after my time. Like I said, when I was back in the 70s, the Beatles were played a lot. But this is a music you enjoy, and this music is how old now? This is Jesus Christ, 50. It was let's say 65 40 years old. God. All right, so you enjoy. Okay, that's this 50-year-old song, right?
Right.
All right. Now, when I was a kid, let's say back in 1975, I was 16 years old. A 50-year-old song would then put me at 1920s.
Do you know for a fact that they did play songs from the 1900s eras they didn't actually name the songs back then? Do you know that?
Well,
I'm going back even further, but go ahead.
No,
What's your point?
My point was, on the radio, there's no way they're going to play Al on the local station out there. There's no way they're going to play Al Jolson in the middle of a Beach Boys medley. You know, I mean, the point is, it's like, no, that's ragtime. No, that's
a 1970s echo chamber right there.
Right.
Tune into your own channel.
Now there's a whole generation of like, oh yeah, 50-year-old music. Yeah, that sounds really good. It's because no kid ever did that in the 70s. A 50-year-old music is cool. Never. I was there. But I was finding it interesting that there's a whole bunch of, you know, younger people who actually go, this is good stuff. It's like, don't you like the new stuff? Come on. You know, it's like,
So is it a better time now that there's so many opportunities?
No, here, I'll tell you guys, because I do music for a living. Well, not for a living, but I do more with music nowadays and in the past. My favorite group is probably still Led Zeppelin. You've probably never heard of them. You're too young.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, it's my favorite group.
Right.
I listen to music now, and there's stuff coming out that's released in the past year or two that's some of the most glorious, beautiful stuff, well edited, best done stuff I've ever heard. No one else who's listening to this podcast will ever hear of it. It's not pop music, but there's so many people making music now because of the technology we've talked about. The ability to just upload any video, anyone at home. The fact that people are virtuosos, they're starting younger, they're playing faster, they're playing better, they're playing stronger, they're learning from old techniques. Back in the 50s and 60s, there were like 8,000 people total playing music. Do you know what I mean? Like it was like that was it. I mean, I know there's more. I'm just I'm estimating. But now it's like a hobby you can do. You can you can take lessons on YouTube. Back then you had to really get lessons from someone who really knew. Now any kid worth $7 can just YouTube a free video and start to learn how to play guitar. So it's changed the playing scape entirely. What I will say though is that some of the old classics like the Beatles, some of the Led Zeppelin stuff, it holds up because it was amazing. It was well worked on. It was well done. Yeah. Some of the stuff you can find now, you can find well done stuff, amazing stuff, beautiful written stuff. There's also a whole lot more garbage just by numbers. Right?
Well, can I just say, I am always on the lookout for music by 20-year-olds. I'm probably the only 56-year-old guy, but yes, no. Like I said, I do film, I do movies. I've slogged through. This is even before, long before Spotify and all that. Where I needed to find. I shot a film back in 2000. On that note, back when you had to shoot film, I had to buy a camera, shoot, develop it. And it kills me that, that now a kid, you can shoot Hollywood style quality stuff on a DSLR for, nothing.
Yeah.
And, back when I wanted to submit a film to Sundance, it had to be on film. And then the next year is when they started, this is back in, digital was the first year. I think 2001 was the first digital year for Sundance. So it kills me that it's just like, any kid can make a movie, and any kid can record an album now. How much good stuff is there? It's like,
there's good stuff. There's also a lot.
Right.
A lot.
What I found interesting is like I said, I was looking for music a lot. I wanted unpublished stuff just to put in my film, right? So I figured, okay, if they have a record deal, I can't afford them.
Yeah.
What's surprising, if you go through hundreds of songs, just slog through it, most people don't suck. They know enough. Okay, I can sing but it's just not. Give me.
That's why they don't
do something different. Do jump out of the standard. Thing, and most people don't have the balls to because if you go outside of the
got to get weird with it.
Box,
be a big failure. Especially if those people are trying to make it. They're almost playing it safe to make it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
Get it.
To toss it back to my book, because I'm not writing about zombies or spaceships or robots or planets. Blah.
Are they the big things right now?
Well, just genres. The sci-fi.
I get you, but is zombies the big hit right now? Is it still?
Vampires, zombies,
vampires,
apocalyptic vampires,
dire wolves,
apocalyptic post-wolf.
Yes. So I sent the book out to all these lit agents, and they're like, "Where's the zombies? There's no zombies. There's no vampires." I was like, really? Is it UFOs for Cape Cod? Yeah, it's funny. I don't think we can. Yeah. I don't think we can sell that. All right.
So what would you say to someone that's like thinking about doing this? Like you've been through the experience of writing it and trying to.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Yeah, stop.
What's this? What is this?
The book. Writing a book and trying to get it out there.
Right. Yeah. Film a movie. Well.
Have you learned anything from the process? Would you do anything different?
Oh yeah. Oh no, definitely. Well, first off, I could not have done this as writing a book as a 25-year-old. Yeah, it would have just been derivative. And I remember as a 25-year-old, people were saying like, listen, live, go do something with your life. Because, and then have something to say. I didn't have much to say other than, what my friends are thinking or, so yes, as the old guy, live your life. And yeah, I basically have something to say. And basically, I don't give a shit if the world says, yeah, fuck this, because I want to say it. This is it. It's said. There it is. There. World doesn't give a shit. All right. See you. Bye. Just chuck the book into my grave and just throw it. Right. But at least I got it, out, I can't say I got it out.
Deadguy.com, everyone. Hey, look for it there.
The delusion on that, right, is like, I can die. You
can tattoo it to your body. So they have to check it out.
I'll have to settle for this. Maybe in the future there'll be an AI reading the archives of Amazon and go, hey, look at this. This is kind of hey, this guy was kind of funny back then.
The AI is going to recognize funny.
Yeah. Or just like, well, this guy said something profound. Or whatever, or something. Hey, this guy had an original idea. Yeah, he died. Yeah, 70 years ago. But
he died on the toilet. I'm really sorry. Sorry, I went back to toilet humor. I apologize.
Hold on. Are you referring to the SNL sketch last Saturday?
I just saw that on TV today. Yes, I did see that. And it was pretty good. It's pretty good.
Stole it.
Yes. I forgot. I didn't catch that.
The what?
What did they call
reference?
it?
What the hell was the toilet? Toilet check a grand
or something. Yeah, I forget. All right. Anyway, you look it up. It was good. So we're gonna kind of disassemble it, break it back down. In a review, this is a weird question for you. So I know. So you're older than us. You've come across this a few times, and you've brought it up a few times. I know. I'm bringing this to your attention. I didn't know if you knew you were older than us. What changes between our age and your age? I mean, you don't know us personally, but you've done half a podcast with us. You kind of know who we are. You kind of see who we are. What's going to change about us by the time we're your age? Because
we're not going to give a shit, honestly, for one.
Is it? Are we not going to give a shit more? Are we going to more free? I don't know.
And
you don't know lives per se, but I'm just saying in general, what happens? Because you seem like you may have been more like us. You are like us.
Yes. I remember being 25 or 18 going, I hate old people who walk around going, this damn new music. And I was just like, I said, I'll never, ever be that old guy who's going to walk around going, that damn new music stuff today. Sure enough,
of course
it's like, oh, really? At least Sid Vicious pretended to sing. Come on, now it's just chanting in rhythm. Yes, and there's plenty of other bands out there that are still doing it. Yeah, believe me, I love all those guys too. But now the question is, okay, so what are your kids?
They're eventually going to piss us off. Eventually. Yeah, eventually.
So now that we've removed melody, chord progression, it's just chanting now and rapping in just a drum beat. Are we just going to remove the drum beat and just have just black? So what will be in the future that'll be pissing off your generation?
They will find something that will piss me off so bad. I know they will. And I know they will. And you know what? Half of the enjoyment of the music will be knowing that it pisses off older music. You know what I mean? And you can't get around it. What are you going to do? What are you going to say? It just sounds like screeching and metal on metal. What's going on? You just don't get it. Okay.
Or is he going to flip back to, classical stuff? Because it's interesting, because basically, as a musician, that basically we've gone, Schoenberg did it back in the, turn of the century where just made pure distance.
You play.
One of everything. Yeah, my chops are on bass. I had my synthesizers set up for a while. I have a guitar sitting there, but yeah.
Go grab it.
My claim to fame is I got on the Dr. Demento show with some novelty songs. You guys even know who Dr. Demento is?
I do not.
Yeah,
know.
I do actually. Ironically enough, you'd like. Anyway, look at this. That's a 5-string.
I never did a 5-string. I don't know.
Oh, you didn't? This is my first 5-string ever. Oh my god!
Listen, you sure that fifth?
No,
string
it's unnecessary. It's very unnecessary.
It's a penile substitute. Yes.
No, but you know what?
You rubbed it in your face.
I dropped
your
the
face.
fifth fret on the B. Oh, I don't care. Trust me. I love it.
But tell me, obviously you never got laid playing bass. But when does the bass player ever get laid, right?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
I love that bass.
There's my suggestion to you, damn kids: don't play bass if you want to.
Oh man,
that's interesting. I knew it. See, I could tell. What's he? Oh, he's picking up. Uh-oh.
So my headphone plug came out.
Okay, that's fine. So.
I'm curious about like afterlife and like religion and God. Right. Like, what's your take on all that?
Guys, both of you can answer because I've been talking about this for a while.
Oh,
I'm getting a new tattoo this week, maybe because it's my birthday. That's 10, right? To the 80th power.
Right.
H. Dan's shaking his head because I haven't gotten the tattoo yet.
So what is that, a Sharpie or is that a tattoo? What is that?
That's a Sharpie. It's a Sharpie. I'm just seeing
testing it out. On my arm. Seeing what the reaction is from the ladies and us.
I don't know. No, I'm really going to get it maybe this week.
10,000 zero. So what is that? What does that mean?
80th H. It's just right now the hypothetical idea for how much hydrogen or how many atoms exist in the universe, observable universe.
Okay, right. Okay.
No, regardless, the number is going to change in like 8 years. So they're going to be like, oh, we found dark matter. It means there's more matter in the universe. It means whatever. I don't care. My idea, though, is that it's
all encompassing.
It represents all the matter in the universe, aka everything we deal with, all the atoms, all the stars, all the dark energy, all this. And if it can fit on my damn arm, I can deal with anything. You know what I mean? Like that's it. I got it. Boom.
Now, are you prepared to have to explain that huge number on your arm every time someone looks at it?
Absolutely.
Can't wait. A big number. Why don't you just do 10 zeros all the way across behind it? Like, look at that. Like,
all the zeros.
Too much of a look. You're very stuck on binary. You love binary.
Well, just the big number. Well, it could be. I'd be pi. Okay, fine. You're just gonna put.
You could etch it on your dick. That'd be real short.
What were you asking? Your cutout dick. Go ahead.
So life after you want to keep going, Nick?
But I have two more zeros and 3 more ones than Dan if we go by dick size. That's the problem.
I got a lot of ones. I can fit a lot of ones on there.
Yeah, no, as an old guy, yes, my generation, we don't do tattoos.
Yeah, why not? I mean, who cares?
Well, because why do I want to doodle, for God's sake? I mean, like, okay, what's a doodle?
Professional doodle. Get someone to do a good one.
Here's the tattoo I would do. Okay, I would do a tattoo if I could get into a time machine and have Rembrandt do a tattoo, and I come back and go, "Oh, Rembrandt, huh?" So when I die, my shoulder is worth something right there.
That makes sense.
Yes, I would do a tattoo. That's what I would do.
Fair.
Rembrandt.
Dan, you're never gonna get a tattoo, are you?
No.
No, you're not. If you haven't by now, you're not. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. You have what? A couple? You have the Led Zeppelin and...
I don't care.
Do you have a dragon on your back like one of our friends?
Actually have a Led Zeppelin? Let me see. A Zoso? What was that? Is that his actual what? That's... Yeah.
Do you recognize the two symbols, though?
Well, that's the Led Zeppelin Zoso, right?
Yeah, and that's actually for the bass player and the drummer. Guess what I play?
Boom, boom.
Well, John Bonham's dead, blah, blah, blah. And, actually, the bass player dead, too? Yeah, no.
He's JPJ.
No, I'm thinking John Entwistle's dead. Yes, okay.
Yeah, John Entwistle is dead. No, John Paul Jones is alive and well so far.
And Peter Tork's dead, too. That's a bummer. Peter Tork.
Yeah, it is.
So the other, okay, we're back to the Beatles.
Yes. But anyway, I just need a new tattoo, guys. And it's my birthday in a few days, so don't tell me it's your birthday in a few days.
No, I just had a birthday, just a couple of days ago. Yeah.
Look at that. We play bass, same symbol.
What's the
I don't
sign?
know the state symbol. I don't know the signs.
Pisces? Are you Pisces?
Yeah.
What a coincidence. Yeah, it's the same thing. I think.
Person. Oh my god. Anyway, no. Let's finish this one out with ultimately what happens. So you don't believe in aliens, essentially.
Well, again, yeah, there's got to be something.
Earth.
I think they're so smart they don't even have to get close to us. I think obviously if they can observe, I think the one thing we can assume about aliens, right, is they have greater powers of observation than us, right? I mean, that's the only thing you could probably
every
assume.
other technology is advanced. Why wouldn't that be?
Right. So who said that? Who said they can't just be out by Pluto? We can perfectly see what's going on. There's no reason to go down there and actually shake their hands.
So we're good back here. We're good.
Yeah.
Them rectums. Yeah, I understand.
So, or did they even have to make the trip? I mean, perhaps they're just, or maybe, or even worse, we're so not interesting. It's just like, yeah, another one. Yeah, there's another.
You do the Fermi paradox.
The Fermi paradox. Yeah.
Favorite one.
Well, my answer to that is and that's sort of my answer. It's just
so hold on to break it down to everyone listening, because everyone probably doesn't know, is the amount of stars in the observable universe that have planets, and of those planets, habitable zones, and of the habitable zones where life should show up, and where life should show up, those civilizations should develop and intelligence should develop, and of those, space travel should happen, right? We would assume
just the odds.
Hey, just the odds. We're playing billions and trillions and trillions and billions. Let's give a couple dozen of them, right? 40 of them, 400 of them, 4,000 of them.
Well, let me say this.
Have we not seen any sign of life in the universe? It means one of two things. Either there's a great filter that snuffs out life, whether life is self-defeating. Maybe we always blow ourselves up with nuclear weapons. I have no idea.
Probably.
We wouldn't know. We'd find out. Who knows? Or is there some other means at work? Like, is it because there's a greater force out there that once life reaches a certain point, it comes and exterminates life? And that's why we wouldn't see any life. I don't know. Anyway, that's the Fermi paradox.
Well, yes, but the big assumption is, how dare they not say hi to us? What if they just didn't say hi to us?
Right. What if they don't care? What if they're just like,
because there's no reason that for them to say hi, because they obviously
the aliens are just awkward. Like, awkward wallflowers.
Right. Boy.
Or how about this one? Maybe the extraterrestrials are just not even extraterrestrial in the classic gray sense. What if the UFOs are the aliens themselves? In a sense, AIs. They're just like, because certainly if you want to be built for going to outer space, well, a little silver spaceship or whatever
lives much longer and doesn't break down.
You could make the trip. You could make the trip, blah blah blah. But there's no arm to shake. You know what I mean? So there's no reason to give us higher whatever the hell they know. We're just gonna hurt ourselves with it, right? I mean, you're guaranteed we're gonna hurt ourselves with or hurt.
Is there some kind of fallacy? Did we just create it right here when we're talking about it? Where if you give a civilization advanced knowledge or a technology that's beyond their means, that they will hurt themselves with it because there's something to be said for learning it. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a responsibility that happens with the process.
All right, here's an example. Let's say the aliens could make a little the cube. It's the cube. It's the size of a Rubik's Cube. It's got a positive and negative diode on it, right? And basically, it's either a giant capacitor or it has enough power from a let's say
tesseract,
a nuclear reactor. You can shrink it down. This is just purely engineering, right? Shrink it down to the size of a cube. This sucker will run your house, your car,
everything for like 100 years, right?
City, life, your
free
kid.
Energy.
But if you take the plus and minus and touch it to your neighbor, they vaporize.
Can't wait.
What we would do.
My neighbor Carl's getting a shit ton of vaporization.
Yes, but you see how I'm saying now? It's just like, we would just turn it on ourselves, and it'd be their fault that we vaporized ourselves. So why would they? They're smarter. They know we need to go through.
But I'm serious, guys. If there is no rule or law for this, we could come up with a name for it and then be famous for it. But it's called like someone's law, Pander's law. Maybe where you can't give
Bickernicks fallacy.
It's like Darwinian in nature because we didn't learn it.
Right. If you give something they didn't earn,
Right.
whether it's a technology or a process or whatever, that they will not be able to use it properly because they didn't earn it. I mean, they didn't learn it. You can give someone, I can go back to the 14th century and give them, smartphones. They're gonna screw it up, kills people. They're gonna do terrible things with it. It's gonna blow up everything. They're gonna be houses on fire or Googling things. Google isn't around. I don't know.
So, but that brings us back to the first point. Do civilizations exterminate themselves? So we're back to the first point. So
do that.
Which could, very, very likely. But the last thing on the Fermi paradox, right, is, okay, let's say out of 100 billion galaxies, let's knock the numbers up, way up. Let's say there's one advanced civilization per galaxy, right?
Okay.
Well, that still means we're alone.
A billion.
100 billion. No, that's still
right. 100 billion. Means we have to leave the galaxy.
They have to be right. Forget about just like, getting to Alpha Centauri. Yeah, we can we can't do it. We can sort of conceive of it. Yeah, we can probably get something out to Alpha Centauri at some point. We will, I'm sure, right? But getting to another galaxy, that's just your brain melts. So in a sense, we're alone, basically.
Well, unless. Well, maybe we're doing. We touched on this before, and you touched on with putting your intelligence into an AI. Yeah. Well, I was just going with timelines. Maybe these things take thousands of millions of years, and our life
isn't there yet.
I mean, we live what, 80, 90, 100? I mean, that's it. So that these numbers to us seem ridiculous, crazy, and whatever. But maybe it will make more sense if we live thousands of years, hundreds of thousands of years. Sounds boring. Really sounds boring.
Hey, I'm tired. Already.
I'm tired of just 30.
and we'll have to listen to the kids of the music of the future. In fact, hold on. But
this 100-year-olds.
How about this one? Ready? Is maybe death isn't a design flaw. We like to think of it as death because imagine if
it's intentional.
If the status quo never changes, the people from the 1700s would still be in charge.
Oh, God,
they would still women still wouldn't be able to vote.
We founded it. So, they would have said.
Well, right, it's theirs. Damn it, it's our. So imagine if those people were still in charge.
We would have killed them already.
Why would they not be? Yeah, well, I don't know. So
death is change. I agree.
So maybe that's a good thing. In fact, there were some science fiction writers who I think what's his name, Huxley. Had a story that basically that people once your mind got all just fossilized, the society would wipe it and give this body another fresh start.
A fake death.
Just get. You're just old. You've locked yourself.
They're doing death again, but just fake one.
Yeah.
Buddhism.
Yeah, but your body just keeps going. They give you they put a fresh mind in there to go on. I forgot. Yeah. Which
Well,
I know. I'll be happy. I know. Everyone else will be happy when I'm gone. Like, oh, thank God he's dead. Yeah, he's no longer complaining about the music.
And you'll have the damn
your website.
I mean, right to it.
adeadguy.com.
It's weird. Do you think there's like a timeline on that carries over for all people? Like, do we all kind of expire in what we can create over 60, 80, 90, 100 years? Like, do you think if we could live to be 180, do you think we'd still be creating things by 120? Or do you think we'd be checked out?
Well, hold on. Most people are just consumers, right? Who are you referring to? You're referring to the creative guys like you, us.
Right.
Yeah.
So
we're not the norm. As far as I can tell, we're not the norm. There's a bunch of people who can't put two blocks together creatively. And gee, really? All right. So, they're just going to be just watching TV for 180 years, right? So, yes, that's an interesting question from an artist's point of view. In fact, I have another book which talks about this question. Yeah, it's called Artifice. You can see it on the website. Nobody gives a shit. Yeah, it's over there. Yeah.
Artifice.
Right.
Weird. Well, we got to finish it with one question. I don't know.
All right, great.
I need a big one.
I thought I had a big one. Go ahead.
No, they're all big ones.
Death. Okay, all right. So I got to top my death one. Okay, so death is not a design flaw. That one doesn't cut it. Okay, I need bigger than death. Go ahead.
One bigger than death. I got to think.
Okay, all right.
I don't even know.
All right.
We got this. We got your book. Do you think
afterlife? You're like God.
Will you ever solve adult acne?
It may never solve its old acne. We can put a man on Alpha Centauri. No, we'll never get there. No, I think it's just ultimately you're leaving behind your legacy. Is that the most important thing to you? I mean,
well,
you got the website, you got all this. You're coming on our podcast. You're doing all this. Do you have, like, what do you want to happen? I don't know.
Yes, it would be nice. Yes, if a couple of people went, "Oh, I like that," and I have gotten a few people who have read the book and actually have gotten it. And I can tell you, from an artist's point of view, when someone like, "Oh, you got it? Yeah, I got it. I understood why." Blah blah blah. It's like, really? And it's happened only a few times up there, but I'm telling you, as an artist. You know, it was someone you come up with a good song and something. People are like, yeah, I was like, really? Yeah, I mean, we all like, that. Yeah. So it would be nice if it happened more. I'm not, counting on it, but I have gotten a couple of glimpses of that, and it's like, yeah, it's nice.
Well, ultimately good. Now, what if it all happened after you passed?
There you go. Well,
are you cool with that? Do you want that? Is that what you want?
Hey, you guys know about the horror there, the real option. It's not even real, I guess. But who wrote Blade Runner? Oh no,
directed it.
No, the writer is called. I'm blanking here. See, I'm the old senior moment here. He wrote. I have to do a Google search.
Damn, where's your damn Google?
You wrote do Android stream
Philip Dick?
Philip K. Dick, yes.
Philip K. Dick,
he wrote an entire life of science fiction books, right? And only at the very end of his life, when he actually saw Ridley Scott, he saw some of the footage from Blade Runner, right? Died before it was released, dead. So he just and now Philip K. Dick is he's brilliant. He's great.
RoboCop?
No, that was what's his face, that German.
Shooting the dick 8 times.
Yeah.
There. Anyway.
Right. So the point is, yes. So yeah, plenty of people die in obscurity, and it's like, yeah, okay. That's a very likely possibility here. But at least someone like Philip K. Dick at least saw that little bit, happening. He didn't know, because nobody gave a shit. He was writing in pulp magazines a long time. He got paid,
right,
so yeah. But the fame just started to happen when he died.
Wow. Here, last question. I did figure it out.
Okay.
What is the possibility that life is a program or is made intentionally and that it's actually sent to planets to see if it'll take root and form? Like, they say they think our water and life may have come from meteorites or something came from inner space. Like, you've heard that theory, right, guys? Whether it's true or not, I'm not saying it is. But yeah, let's say it's sent on purpose. Let's say they just send out as much life as they can to as many places in the habitable zone. I've been saying that really well. Usually I screw that up. Habitable. I'm pretty habitable. I'm not sure.
That's the vodka. That's the vodka.
But
go ahead. Oh, well, all right.
No, that's open-ended. Go ahead.
Yeah, no. So, that's an interesting concept that yes, would it just take one piece of stranded DNA hitching a ride from a comet from somewhere else to get here, and just to start one little, just that one little tiny little drop there, just starts the whole thing off. So it only needs to happen once in the in the whole universe, and it just spreads. I mean, which actually seems to help the odds. Or yes, did life actually start from scratch on our planet? I mean, it's happened fairly quickly, I guess, right? I guess we're about 4 billion. They actually saw stuff
something. I think 4.68.
We're starting from molten moltiness.
Hell
lava.
Yeah.
Something was swimming around within a billion years, I think. Half a billion.
Isn't it weird we haven't been able to recreate it too? Like, do you know what I mean? If it was.
Oh, there you go. Yes, you're just giving fuel to the religious. Yes, I know. Yes.
I'm not religious. I'm just saying there's maybe something else at play, or a hell of a coincidence.
How's this one? I go in better than death. This is better than death here. Okay.
Good.
Better than death. I can't wait.
All right. So all right. So if the universe was just particles, right? Just the Big Bang bush, right? And then it's just
antimatter, matter, all hitting each other, smacking.
individual particles, right? And the only rule was
like
basically
10 to the 80th.
Yeah, I
right?
agree. Smashed together.
The only rule was two particles. Just okay. There you go. Bump, and that's the only thing that can happen, right?
Yeah, there's physical action, particles bumping.
They just come together.
That's it.
If that's the basic rule, bump
Of all
which then led to us pondering our own existence. The particles are now pondering their own existence. Basically, so was that intentional? Was that intentional? Was that a side effect? Or we just think we're so fucking smart when we're literally just a bunch of rocks that move quickly.
I would actually side with you on that, in that all of our consciousness, intelligence, and everything, what is it worth in the end? Because in 100 and some years, so really it's a side effect of just evolution. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't mean much. I mean, maybe it's kind of worthless, but it's kind of cool. But we kind of think it's cool, but we think it's cool because we think. So I don't know. That's where I would lean.
Get drunk and get laid often is the best. Yeah,
good advice. Good advice.
That's what I'm gonna. Yeah, there you go, kids. Get drunk and laid.
Get laid.
Tell your younger self.
Yeah.
All right, folks.
All right.
We got Eric Bickernicks here. You can check out his book. You can check out his website. You want to plug it? Go ahead, plug it. Plug the hell out of it.
To get to the book, go to CapeCodUFO.com. And there it is. The links bring you to everywhere else. There it is.
There it is, folks. Yeah. And at deadguy.com.
And if you want to see the crap that old guy left, whatever, it's over there too. I need to update it. I'm just surprised anyone's actually going there because nobody went there for years when I first built it. But all right, I guess I've got to update it. So, okay, I'll update it.
You're on the cusp. Come on, fat.
Hold on. No. Hold on.
No,
hold on. Sorry, Dan. No, my powers of obscurity are pretty damn strong. So I think I can overcome that affliction if it happens. You said it happens, right?
Yeah,
it does.
Or it could happen.
Power to you.
Powers of obscurity. I have great powers of obscurity. Here you go.
Bless. Well, we talked about UFOs. We talked about
aliens, Sasquatch, Bigfoot.
Sasquatch. We talked about all the big boys. We talked about conspiracy theories. We talked about legacy. We talked about
writing a book.
Pooping in toilets.
And pooping in lawns. We talked about golden retrievers with existential crises.
Tattoos and binary.
Getting laid and drunk. Yes.
Talked about getting drunk, getting laid.
Yeah.
Talked about God. We talked about everybody. We talked about just about everybody. We covered all the subjects.
Mm-hmm.
How about that Kim Kardashian?
He's a hottie.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's the last thing that we could ever toss in there. Right. Okay.
I know.
We'll do a whole episode on it.
Right.
Thanks for joining us. We got some links. Click them. What I will say is that we like you, audience. We like you a lot. Thanks for tuning in. Tuning in or tuning in? I don't even know what I said.
Tuning in.
Have a great one, folks.
Okay.
Good night.